Okay, my camera mic's on. I forgot to look at it. Hey everyone. I guess I can take the headphones off my head. I know I look ridiculous when I do that, but that way I don't forget them. Also, one of them's broken, and so every time I take it off, it comes out, and there's like a little wire, and it's gonna come apart one day. And if I just keep it on my head, then I don't have to worry about that. Hi everybody. It's good to see you. Oh my God. It feels like it's been 7 years since the last time we did this. Keeping up with the news is the worst. Um, so, my name is Hannah Parker. I am the principal community analyst for Blue Shark Friends, and I'm here just to um, I'm here just to teach you how to do community. One of the things that really it's really funny when you think of yourself as an influencer, but one of the things that really sets us apart from other influencers is that um, we want to be transparent about not only how our corporate structure looks, like how our business looks, but also about the community behind us and the technology we're using. So um, that's just, I don't know. I never see anyone else out there doing all of that. And it's hard and it's slow, but I'm proud of what we've built. And as a part of that, I get to talk to you about. So, to give you, before we get into our new community agreement, I want to just give you some updates. We have two possible jobs starting to work out, which are really exciting. Like tech work, it's very hard to break in, especially because everything can be done with AI anyway. Um, but yeah, we're starting to break into that space with people that we've built trust over months with. And it's just really exciting because we're going to be allowed to work at a pace that we know our bodies can handle. And that was an essential part of everything we were doing. So that's really exciting. I'm thrilled about it. Josie's smiling at me. Um, we also have the Manta Ray project going in full swing. Gonna probably need to follow up on that this week. I need to set up a standing meeting on that.
Did you want to share more details about the two things
Oh,
that we're getting
yeah,
ready to do?
you're right. I should be more. Sorry, I
Like,
went
obviously,
straight
I know it's
from
not all finalized.
I went straight from my other job straight to this, and I'm just so tired. um, One of them is to help with website migration, and the other project is to build it's called a local area network, but basically a server with a number of computers connected to it that is completely offline, um, but still functions as like an internal internet. So those are the two projects that we have, and we're hoping to have that solidified and maybe within this week. That could be really exciting. Uh, um, we've started reaching out to, well, we've reached out to everyone we're planning to reach out to, but we've reached out to a handful of people about possibly becoming co-op members. Um, and we're still working through that process, but that's also really exciting. We're slowly, we're doing it. We're doing this. We're slowly building and growing, and it's just really exciting. Um, I feel like there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it is. What am I missing? Oh, um, 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 Sandra speculation. The Kickstarter finished. It funded. I might have talked about that 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, but it is completely done and it's funded, and it means I'm gonna get paid.
I put the link on the screen.
Yeah, super excited about it. So yeah, the there's still momentum going, and that's really cool because our bank account does not look like it right now. And everyone has those moments where like it gets scary, and then you get to see like your communities still making progress and making it safer for you. So that's beautiful. Um, Long time ago, and we haven't talked about this on our live stream in a while, but for a while we sponsored a family in Venezuela that was deported and living on the streets. Mom and three kids. Her name was Indira. Her name is Indira. Um, and the group that really rallied around her, um, and some of our people have been part of that group for a while. Um, I'm being really careful because I don't want to take any credit for this. Really early on, we were more involved, but we had to step back due to capacity. But that whole group has she's housed now, and like this idea that we can reach out through the screen and hold each other up is real. And I watched a group of disabled artists and people organize and just never stop giving their attention to making sure this family was okay. So, um, shout out to Danny Haas, who made our logo and was really instrumental in keeping that family safe. So, um, yeah. And if I can uh, get Josie to like pull up a link to their donation stuff, because now they're starting to get into like long term work. And if that's something you're interested in donating to, I'd love for you to be able to. I, while Josie does that, am going to talk about our community agreement. So last week, we finally put together a community agreement after talking with a number of different members and getting some feedback and trying to include everyone's interests and ideas. We've come up with some expectations that are really low key and feel like they would fit for uh, the people in our group who are disabled, who who can give what they have capacity to give. And it's really cool to see this coming together because it feels surreal. So we're going to be going over that. I'm going to share with you the different ideas. And if you have any feedback, one, I said it so that anyone can edit it, but we can like go through revisions if we have to. So theoretically, I don't have to worry about Nazis deleting all of our community agreement work. Just in case, maybe I'll just save off a copy. um, that said, if you have thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. Especially if you're a part of our community, this is our time to get as much feedback as possible. Um, our goal is to get something that everyone feels they can sign off on, and that way we start to coalesce around a culture that is also formalized. Doesn't One of the things that we wanted to be was extremely flexible because I have this belief that ideologies do not form communities, community forms community. And so everything that's here is really just about how we should approach treating each other and how to recognize what the expectations are with different power dynamics. Okay. And I'm tired. Okay. And because I'm utterly ridiculous, I wrote this as if it's a constitution. So, as a preamble, which is basically just saying we're a digital community in which all our members commit to taking care of each other within our limited capacity. Um, that's Blue Shark Friends. Everything else is secondary. And I hope that we've really lived up to that. That feels like a mission statement. Maybe that is a mission statement. I didn't think about that. Okay, expectations of community members. We have to be kind and respectful to each other. Josie gave me a lot of notes about how this is really ambiguous and we might have to come up with more precise words. We need to have a yearly review of this community agreement. So that's something that is required of people to stay a member. That way we can all be on the same page that we've at least agreed to this. And beyond that, there's not really any expectations. But part of agreeing to the agreement, we're going to set it up so people can sign their name to the agreement and their name would just be listed publicly. It doesn't have to be your legal name. It's just that something that represents you signed it. For the process for onboarding new members, if you've been interested in joining for a while and you wanted to better understand our process, one, I'm going to add a link that's going to put this in words that is on my to-do list someday, probably after taxes. Anyways, for onboarding new members, we have 6 points, and probably the biggest one is you must fill out a new member form. One of the things that is essential to how we interact is that people who want to join Blue Shark Friends need to be recommended by an existing community member, and it needs to be someone that's had some type of relationship with them for more than a year. Because you can't build community without taking time. And that's something that we want to be really explicit about, is that as we grow, these are people who actually know each other. Next, you have to complete the onboarding process. Our onboarding process is fairly simple, can be done in maybe half an hour. Yeah, I'd say maybe half an hour. The biggest thing is that we do an ID exchange, so we can verify who you are. And we exchange ours, in which case you can verify who we are. And then also, we sign off on some stuff related to putting your website on our site. That's basically it. I must publicly sign their name to this community agreement because, yeah, that's what it means to be a community member. And must be approved by all current pirates. So pirates is our word we use to describe our member owners, which is just me and Josie right now, but we're working on inviting a couple people. Just wild, and is also something we're going to figure out after taxes. People who are going to become part of the community, we have to know that everyone's okay with that happening. So we want to require active approval by all existing pirates. These are people who have capacity essentially to be more involved and are part of the business itself. But also must not be vetoed by any current members. So that's any crewmates, any deckhands, basically saying if current members, because a lot of this structure is to make sure that we meet people's needs when it comes to how much they can participate. And so if all someone can do is once a year sign their name that they agree to the community agreement and they do nothing else, that's totally okay. And that includes voting on whether or not new members can join. If they don't want to be involved in that, they're allowed. But if they have, sorry, let me finish my thought. But if they have any negative feelings or if there's something wrong with someone joining, they have the opportunity to tell that person, and that way we can start having those conversations.
Because we also want to make sure we're meeting their needs in terms of safety.
Because we want to make sure everyone can feel safe in our community. Um, okay. But yeah, so Article 3, expectations of crewmates. All community members are crewmates. So if you're a pirate, you're a crewmate. If you're a deckhand, you're a crewmate. You're a crewmate, you're a crewmate. It's these things stack on each other. Um, Deckhands. So crewmates are. I basically just wrote crewmates have no inherent expectations of providing labor. Like I said, signing the community agreement once a year is like there's the onboarding process to join, but after that, signing the community agreement once a year is our only expectation of labor. Um, Crewmates who wish to work for Blue Shark Friends who want to actually work for us and get paid, they become deckhands. And that's like independent contractors. Article 4 is about what it means to be a deckhand. You need to fill out a W 9 and you need to get a notarized form saying that you understand that you are an independent contractor for a company in the state of Colorado and that thereby you're not being paid what an employer would normally provide you and that you're not receiving benefits because we're too poor to do any of those. Um, so yeah, that. And then must meet all expectations of crewmates. So a deckhand is just a crewmate who works. A pirate is a crewmate who has a stake in the business, like a legal stake. Um, so pirates have these following expectations. Um, Pirates need to attempt to meet with other Blue Shark Friend members at least once every 2 weeks. Um, need to reach a consensus with other pirates on how to spend our budget. Um, must participate in community agreement update meetings. So whenever we're updating this document, must meet the rest of the expectations of being a crewmate, must have been part of our community for at least 1 year, like formally part of our community for a year. So um, it is a process to join and become part of the community. Yeah. Make a note. I don't think I have anything about how people become pirates, though. I want to edit this. Oh, it's view only. Would you make a note on that about how people become pirates? We need to put something there. Okay, Article 6. This has been really hard. Um, so I'm interested in definitely getting your thoughts on this because uh poof. It's not my favorite. How to remove members from Blue Shark Friends. So, one, pirates are the only members who can remove other members of the group. Also, somewhere I have in this, it will say it has to be unanimous across the pirates because we just don't want people being easily removed and causing issues like that. Like it's a really big deal. I think of it as not exactly, but similar to deportation by jury. Sorry, that's a political thing I've been like trying to wrap my head around about how to make our world a better place. That seems fair, right? You shouldn't be able to deport people without having a discussion of your peers. That seems like basic. And we want our community to be similar. So if someone causes physical, financial, or deep emotional harm, Blue Shark Friends will immediately suspend that person's account. Um, that way, if like, I don't know, physical, financial, deep emotional harm, someone's scamming people, someone's like fighting people, um, someone's doing um, emotional abuse to people, like we need to be able to take care of that quickly. That's one of those things we expect to be able to get unanimous support from the rest of the pirates. Um, what is deep emotional harm? I don't know. That's something that we're going to have to try to provide clarification. Um, Ending a suspension will require consent of all pirates. So you might only need one pirate to start a suspension, but ending requires consent of all pirates, and full removal requires consent of all pirates. So there's no willy-nilly. It is a conversation. Yeah. If someone is in violation of the community agreement but hasn't caused physical, financial, or deep emotional harm, they can receive private warnings. If they continue, they'll receive a public warning. If they continue, they'll receive a suspension. If they receive multiple suspensions, they're eligible for removal. So, and then we have one last thing about how to remove a pirate. That's going to have to fit in with with the operating agreement. That's going to be complicated. Okay. Amending this agreement every year, beginning in January, end of March. Blue Shark Friends will review this community agreement, edit and change it as desired. All edits must require agreement, consensus of all current members. So every year we're going to hand this out back to our community to get sign off on it. And to stay a member of the community, you have to sign the agreement. But that means that we have universal consent of everyone who decides to stay a member. So
for the last section, that would imply that they would be suspended if they didn't sign it, not immediately removed. If that's not what you intend, you need to clarify that.
That's a good question. That's, I think, something we should clarify. Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to do is, let's say someone has been part of Blue Shark Friends for a year. They're doing school, but it's not really for them. It's not their community. They want to go do their own thing, and they just want to be disconnected and not really involved. We want a way for people to essentially opt out by just not signing the community agreement and moving on. That said, we also want to make it so that since this is the only thing we're requiring people to do, we want that to be extremely accessible, to give them lots of time to do it, so that people aren't like stressed about whether or not they're going to be part of Blue Shark Friends just because they forgot to sign something.
So I think suspension instead of.
I think you're right. I think you're right. We'll just make a note to make it more explicit. We don't really have an explicit idea of what a suspension is. So that might be something we should do. Yeah. Isn't it fun figuring this out? But every little bit is a step, right? This is how we build. So, Article 7. I have an Article 7 online.
It's not on the one that's saved. So.
Well, cool. Article 7. I'll send this. I just got all members shall be given at least 30 days to review and sign the community agreement. Like it was just added.
That's listed as Section 3 of Article 7 online.
Okay, so there's an Article 7. So I said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we were already on Article 7. I thought you were starting a new article.
Oh, I thought we were on the removing people. Well,
already on Article 7.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So we're, I think, on Section 2 of Article 7.
We finished Section 2.
Oh.
So we just added a note to.
Yeah. So we're going to make it more explicit on what happens if people don't sign the community agreement. And then the last piece is that we want to give people 30 days to sign off on the agreement. So that way it's a, that way people have a chance to figure out what they're signing up for. And we can talk about it and have discussions and whatnot. So, yeah, that's it. That's what we've been working on. My goal is that we're going to open up Blue Shark Friends for new people to join before June. and then we'll be going into the next big goals for this summer. Like last summer, we started a shop. I don't know what our next big goals are. It would be really cool to build like a list of vendors for our shop, but we'll see. We're gonna keep working on it, piecemeal, little by little. You guys are awesome.
Wait, don't say goodbye yet. We gotta share because there's not an easy link to share for the Indira stuff. But I found an infographic. I'm gonna share on the screen.
Okay, Joe's gonna share an infographic about
It is a
Indira.
little bit out of date. Let's see. You know,
But the
but
places to you
the
can
places
send
to
money.
pay are not out of date.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this to fit in the window.
No. You might have to make me disappear.
No, that would do it. No, there's a way to do it. Just gotta figure out. Contain. There it is. No.
That's better.
Nope. There we go.
Yay. Is my face over any like QR codes or anything?
I don't think so. I think that's the whole image.
Okay, well, take a screenshot if you're interested in sending them funds. But yeah, Friends of Indira. That's you guys accomplished something amazing. I'm so glad to be able to go to bed after this. Thank you everyone. It was so good to see you. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. I just want you to remember when it comes to building community, this is something you can do. Likely, this is something you're already doing. So keep going. You got this. Your people got you, and you've got them. And we're in this together. Okay? We got this. Bye, everyone.